you plant-powered people out there and health enthusiasts. I'm Velin Hawkins, CEO of Vegan Visibility Productions and host of the Veganpreneur Revolution podcast. And I'm so incredibly excited to bring you this special interview series leading up to the Georgia VegFest 2025 that's happening on August 2nd and 3rd this year at Cobb County Civic Center in Marietta, Georgia. If you're in the area anywhere, show up, support the Georgia Veg Fest. It's in its 14th year, and it's going to be another amazing event. But it won't be what it could be without you. So if you're in the Atlanta area, join us. And now in this series, I'm sitting down with brilliant minds who are going to be gracing us at the Veg Fest to talk about particular topics on food, health, um, animal advocacy, and so much more. My head spins when I think about all of the amazing things that are going to be part of the speaker presentations. And then each day, at the end of the day, will be a panel discussion where every speaker will share their responses to some questions that I'm going to be putting to them. So, our goal for this series is to give you a sneak peek into who they are, the passion behind their journeys, and the profound impact of the work they do to help heal people, spread compassion, and save our planet. So, get ready to be inspired by today's special guest, Dr. Akil Taher. And Dr. Taher is a practicing resurgent physician. He's a septuagenarian athlete and he's a heart disease survivor. And if you don't know him, then you just have to open your ears and your heart in order to receive what we're going to be talking about here today. So, thank you, Dr. Akil. It is so great to see you. As always, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm really, really looking forward to the Veg Fest, Georgia Veg Fest.
You have got one of the most fascinating topics to talk about that. I know there's a lot of buzz out there going on, but before we get to that, your personal health transformation is really an inspiration to so many people. I've seen a lot of the testimonials about what your book has done for them, what hearing some of your talks have done for them, and your life up to and becoming a medical doctor, helping to establish a hospital in Bahrain, to moving your family to the US and basically starting all over again to become a patient, to find yourself becoming a patient due to heart disease. And now, what's the most significant things that have come out of your life journey that really are what have put you on this path to do the work that you're doing now?
See, Lynn, till the age of 61, I created my own unhealthy lifestyle. Uh, Hard work, uh, bad, unhealthy diet, no exercise, did not know how to handle my stress levels, and having a bad genetic history and having childhood illnesses. This all created a problem that I could not handle. And I was not surprised when heart disease came knocking at a very young age of 56. And then I did not change my lifestyle after that. So I had to have stents, but the stents failed. And at the age of 61, I had to have open heart surgery. This is when something went, uh, uh, kind of made me feel that do I want to continue my same lifestyle, uh, or do I want to change into something that I can passionately pursue or think of positive way means to start my life? And I chose the latter, meaning that I wanted to transform myself. So when I got up, I decided to, I told the nurses that I would do a half marathon. And within 7 months, I did my half marathon. Then I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. And then I did marathons and half marathons and 100-mile bike rides. All this was basically due to, in my opinion, the six pillars of lifestyle medicine, but the most important being nutrition. Whole food, plant based nutrition, where you increase your fruits and vegetables, your legumes and beans, your whole grains, your seeds, and cut back on processed, ultra processed foods and foods having high sugar and salt and oily foods and fried foods. And it did make a tremendous effect on my life. I had more energy, I had more clarity of mind, and I would wonder why people would not have a whole food plant-based diet as their diet, because there is so much to gain. Uh, to be very honest, Lynn, I believe that I really started living after the age of 61. So I joke around because I'm 77 now. So I joke around with people and say I'm just 14, 15 years old. So that's my take on the nutrition part of it. Of course, exercise, how to handle stress, sleep 7 to 9 hours are all very important. But to me, diet is more important. Whole food, plant-based diet is more important than all the rest.
I love that. And it made me think about the fact that food, in essence, can either help you by being medicine to the body, or it can hurt you and slowly create things within the body that will end your life prematurely. And so I really appreciate how you've brought together the hierarchy as it relates to your view with nutrition and food and nutrition being at the top of that hierarchy. It's really curious. How did you realize that food was making such a major impact in your life? You know, did you start your exercising and training for the half marathon before you started eating this way? What was the relationship of what you learned on that journey?
Initially, when I got out of my open heart surgery, I started eating healthy. Not whole food plant-based yet, but I started eating healthy. I cut back on meats and dairy and eggs, but I cut back, did not avoid it totally. And I took on to exercise, meditation, yoga, uh, uh, your breathing exercises, sky breathing, and all this helped me quite a lot. But you know what? I did a few half marathons and a marathon, but somehow those illnesses that I had before, like the bronchitis, the sinus congestion, and the infamous diverticulitis, kept on coming now and then. That is when I thought that what is it that I'm doing wrong? And that made me research on how to heal the body without solely relying on medicines and invasive surgery. That's when I found the six pillars of lifestyle medicine, nutrition being the cornerstone, but exercise, sleep, how to handle stress, avoid abusive substances, and have a robust support became my goals and my way of living. And what happened after I turned, let me give you an example. I have done 200-mile bike rides. One, I did it on a healthy diet, but not whole food plant based. And I came after that 100-mile bike ride and I slept for next 4 to 5 days to recover. But when I did my 100-mile bike ride the second time, it was on a whole food plant-based diet. And that particular ride of 100 miles was so intense. There was gale force winds. The temperature was in its 30s, and they had to change the route. And it took me 9.5 hours to finish that 100-mile bike ride. And as I was going back in the car to my hometown, Gadsden in Alabama, I now live in Atlanta. I get a call from my office manager that there was no cover of a doctor the next day, and he had reported sick. And would I be willing to work? And I said, sure. So, having done 9.5 hours, 6 hours of drive, next day going for a 10-hour shift, and without any problems. That is the power of a whole food, plant-based, vegan diet. And so it not only, if you are an athlete, not only reduces your preparation time, it reduces your performance time, and it reduces your recovery time after the exercise. So,
Yes. Yeah. I love it. I've experienced that myself as well, but to know that that is even possible, I talk about experimenting. We have to experiment with ourselves. Does this work? Does this work better? And you found that this worked better as a whole food, plant-based diet, vegan diet to support your athletic endeavors.
but
Now,
let
I
me
want to
just
switch. Oh, go ahead.
Let me just tell you one thing that the diverticulitis I had with two perforations was admitted for several days, weeks in the hospital. Now, where is my diverticulitis? They were wanting to cut my colon, part of my colon. I refused. Where is my diverticulitis? It's on the back burner. I'm not having any problems. So, this is the proof of that diet.
More experimental proof. I love it. Now, at the Georgia Veg Fest, we're going to switch a little bit here. We're still in this topic of prevention of heart disease, but you've learned that there is a hidden cholesterol factor, and your talk is going to be on this hidden cholesterol factor in heart disease. And what is that factor? And what are the practical implications for someone who discovers that they may have this themselves?
See, the thing that we are talking about is LP little a. I'm not going to talk a lot about it because I want people to come and listen to this. For some people, it may be life saving. So I would prefer people to come, but just to give you a short explanation, uh, having had a bad diet prior to my surgery and no exercising, nobody ever asked me about my LP little a. Why? Because doctors even did not understand much about it. No tests were being done at that time. So just last year, at the age of 76, I asked my cardiologist, can we get my LP little a done? And when we got it done, it was sky high. So that means that there is a possibility that my LP little a played a very crucial, important part in me getting my open heart surgery, getting cardiac disease and open heart surgery.
Wow. Um, it makes me think as a physician, you would think that, there would be an awareness around this. It has to do with cholesterol. But what you're saying is that it's recently come to light that people are even talking about this, that these tests are even being done.
Because this LP little a is very much like your bad cholesterol, but it has an extra protein. And why people don't do much about it? Because there is no known treatment right now. Exercise or a healthy diet, not plant based, but a healthy diet, does not improve your LP little a. But the factor is, again, I don't want to divulge a lot more, but whole food plant based diet has shown research that it can reduce your LP little a by almost 16%. Because once you know, people should be tested at least once because it is genetic, it does not change. Well, once you know that, you can be extra careful about the other risk factors, like your smoking or your high cholesterol or your blood sugar. All these you know now to look after much more because you have that LP little a.
Well, I am excited that you are going to be sharing more information about this at the Georgia Veg Fest. And I invite our audience to come and join you. You'll be part of the panel on Saturday. You'll present the full presentation on Sunday at 12 p.m. noon. So, people, you'll want to be there in order to get this great information. I think it's key too. You said it, and it really stuck with me. It could be life-saving. And I really want people to know that you're speaking about this and the underlying cause, the treatment, the philosophy that people should have about even sharing the message about this. Um, what message of hope and action do you want to leave the Georgia Veg Fest audience regarding this risk factor of LP little a and heart disease? What encouragement do you want to leave with them?
Remember that LP little a can be high in people who have very high cholesterol, or it can be high in people who have no risk factors and they are very punctual about getting their yearly tests done. And so, even if they are eating well and their cholesterols are normal, the blood sugars are normal, everything seems to be normal, their LP little a can be high. That is why you see sometimes so many of these athletes who are in the public eye in great shape. But if their LP little a is high, they suddenly get a heart attack and die. So, my important thing is that in Europe, everybody gets it done once. All I ask is get your LPA done once. If it is normal, great. If it is not normal, we can now do things. There are going drugs coming out maybe next year or so, and that can help, or you're changing your whole lifestyle can change. And finally, a whole food plant based diet can very well change your LP little a.
I love it. And, being behind the scenes a little bit, I know that you've got statistics on how these things, these improvements can impact lowering LP little a. And, there's some real stories around the fact that people have suffered with this, not known it. It's hereditary. If you have it, who else has it? What do you need to do? Come to the Georgia Veg Fest August 3rd to hear the presentation and enjoy everything about the festival as well as the presentations. Dr. Akil, thank you so much for spending this time to help promote the Georgia Veg Fest and your talk. There's going to be so much exciting information there. And let me ask you this, do you plan on bringing some of your books?
Yeah, I've written a book, Open Heart. It talks a lot about my journey and my transformation. I will be bringing my books, so that people can read that and learn from the mistakes I made.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you again. And for those of you out there, um, come be with us. Enjoy the weekend of Veggie Fest fun and information. I'm Vegan Hawkins. I'm so excited that you've been here to watch this. Join us. Thank you, Dr. Akil.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you next time, and we'll hopefully see you at the Veg Fest.